First episode of the James from Nigga podcast. Let's begin. Hello, guys, and welcome to my podcast. This is the first episode, and this episode is going to be about me introducing myself to you guys, the audience. Thank you for giving the opportunity to do this. I hope you guys find me interesting and follow me the journey as I continue to make episodes to my podcast and connect to you guys, the audience. So, where should I begin? My full name is James Alberto Zuniga. I am 34 years old, born and raised in the Bronx, New York, raised by Puerto Rican mother and Honduras father. I'm Latino, and I speak Spanish as well, so it's both English and Spanish. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm a person who claims to have a supernatural ability to perceive events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. Now, I know that sounds exaggerating, but it's having a sixth sense, and that is called a clairvoyance, which later on in my journey I will explain how I find out and develop this ability. I am the seventh child from my father's side, but the first from my mother, along with my sister and my two brothers. That unfortunately, as a background of a dysfunctional family, we don't stay in contact. And I know that a lot of you guys can relate. I'm also a victim, of conflict, misbehavior, and often child neglect, abuse, and sometimes even all the above experience. So I became very depressed and developed a low self-esteem, as I became a victim of all these negative things. Um, I don't take medication when it comes to my depression, and I don't go to uh, therapy because I believe that I can cope organically by, keeping my mind busy, managing my mind, and do the things that I enjoyed. All right. So therapy is not it's not for everybody. I graduated high school in 2008. I went to two colleges and two trades. The first colleges that I went was in the Bronx, called Hostel Community College, and I didn't earn a degree, but I did earn knowledge by taking courses such as psychology. I took anatomy physiology part one, um, introducing to community health, writing intensive, and then the second part of anatomy physiology two. Then I moved to Phoenix in 2009 because that was the year that I pursue a relationship, which at first became a long distance. And I may tell you this by now that it doesn't work. Long distance relationships doesn't work. And it was also age gap differences too. I know that everybody says that age is just a number, that it don't matter, but it really does. So from my experience, it really does. Anyway, along with the relationship, I continue to go to college to pursue the anesthetist, health and illness, and sociology. And then along there, I went to a trade school to gain a certificate to become a certified caregiver. Now, for those who don't know what that is basically means a family member or a paid helper that is there to help sick people and disabled people, which it can be from a young child to an adult, or from elderly. And throughout my experience working as a certified caregiver, I only gained more experience helping with elderly. Then, along with that, I got promoted to be a certified medtech or med or a medical technician, which means that you are handling with medication, administrating with the medication to make sure that you are, interacting with the patients who cannot take the medication by themselves, or if they can, you can supervise, and that comes with also requesting medical orders, refills, and stuff like that. Just keep the medication, under control. So that's what I did. I as a med tech, and I got married. I got married in 2020 to a beautiful woman who I met since 2011, and we're now residing on the countryside of Oklahoma with two kids, a boy and a girl. So it's a quiet journey, and I'm very, very happy that it turns out to be that way. Now, I do have hobbies, and I usually spend my leisure time reading books. I like to read uh, books like self-help. I believe that self-help can help you think about your goals with a big picture view. It encourage you to, and for example, outline your short terms and long term goals, and whether they are realistic or achievable. I believe that self-help can also help you be more systematic in the way you approach and changes you want to see. So I have books about that. I also like to read the New York Magazine. The American Weekly Magazine. I enjoy what it features. The journalism, the commentary, the criticism, the essays, fictions, satires, cartoons, and poetry. And it's also notorious for having good, decent art. That's what makes the New Yorker magazine. I also like genealogy. I like the study of families, such as family history and tracing our ancestry, DNA. I like to write. I believe that communication is the heart of every organization when it comes to writing, and I also believe that I have a strong vocabulary and knowledge of a grammar. And even though I have a textbook of a dictionary, which was given to me on my 26th birthday, which I don't know if as I thinking about it right now, I don't know if back then it was a like a way to tell me to improve my vocabulary and grammar, or it's because they knew that I enjoyed reading. I also enjoy listening to music, and it's like diversity. I can break it down what type of music I like to listen to. Obviously, as a Latino, I grew up listening to salsa, merengue, bachata. So let me break it down what that means. Salsa music is a style of Latin American music, because most of the basic musical components, it predates the labeling of salsa, so there have been many controversies in regarding of its origin. It could be from Puerto Rico, or it could be from Dominican Republic. It could be any part of the Latin, you know, uh, place. They can't confirm it, but it's just Latin, and everybody who is in Latin, who is Hispanic, they enjoy salsa. And then it comes merengue. Merengue is a type of music and dance originally in the Dominican Republic, which has become very popular genre throughout the Latin American and also in several major cities in the United States, and also in the Latino communities. And then you have bachata. Now, bachata out of the salsa, merengue, bachata, I listened more to bachata music because that was the main music that was most played in the house when it came to any type of activity. It could be cleaning or just having parties or cookout, whatever. But bachata music is a genre of music that was originated from Dominican Republic as well in the 20th centuries. It is a fusion of the southwestern European influence, mainly Spanish guitar music, with indigenous Taino and sub-Saharan African music elements, and It represents, the cultural diversity of the Dominican Republic. Now, I like hip hop. I like hip hop. Like hip hop is, how can I say it? Hip hop to me is like an older parent, an older brother, an older sister. Like it is someone that is like a family member to me when it comes to to hip hop. But it's just not all hip hop, because you got to break down, this different this different raps, this different styles of hip hop. My style of hip hop is the conscious rap. You know, the conscious rap is a subgenre of hip hop that challenged the dominant cultural, political, philosophy, and economic census. And it also likes to challenge on the commons, and it also focuses on the social issues and conflict. You know, I like that. I like to listen to that. So if you hear like a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar, a Logic, you know, or like the old, like the Wu-Tang Clan, like the old school one, the 90s especially, that is what you call a conscious rap. That it's just not about, having fun and, socializing and who has more money, whatever. I like to listen to more conscious rap that is related to is conscious rap is just like the news but in music. You're listening to the news. Okay. Now, I also like to watch movies on my hobby as well. I like to watch actions. I like to watch horror movies. I like to watch movies that are based in real life events. I love mafia movies, documentaries, comedy movie, and then also comedy stand up, because I have to, separate the comedy. I like that. I also like to travel. That's also my hobby. And so far in my lifetime, I was able to travel 9 states, and within those 9 states, I was very lucky to visit their capital and some places that they are famously known. I like to drink coffee. I love coffee. I'm not going to deny that. I drink coffee when I wake up, when I go to work at night, or I drink coffee when eating breakfast or having a cigarette too with my coffee, which that just tells you that I'm also a smoker. Okay, on holidays I like to barbecue. I do bonfire, and I socially drink only on these occasions that I mentioned. You know, it's nothing wrong to drink, and smoke, as long you do it in moderation. If you can't control the moderation, then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes an addiction, and you depend on it. From experience, I know. So yeah, and then there's other things that I'm interested too. Like I'm interested of having like an investment. Like I would like to invest in buying cheap houses, and then end up owning them. And then I can flip it and have help people who needs a roof over their head to rent. Because part of this interest, there's a goal for me. My goal for this investment is by helping other families, and then also my family as well. We all go through financial hardship, so it's a must that we find a way or find a resource, or talk to somebody who have the knowledge and resource how to be financially free. Okay. um and I think it's worth for anybody to try and invest and think about it, and to take the risk as well, and try to be better for ourselves. They say that the American dream is to wake up in the morning, go to school, graduate, and then wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, and then repeat. Because if you want to have the American dream, you got it. The first thing that you got to do is to work. You can't do nothing, you know, if you don't work. But that is not the American dream. I'm also interested in economic conditions, like the state. of microeconomic variables and trends in the country at a point in time, such as conditions may include the GDP, the growth potential, the unemployment, the rate, the inflation, and the monetary policy orientation. I'm interested in that too, because that is also a part of what we are dealing with, and it also affect us in our daily life, the economy. Okay. um the key factors when it comes to economic condition, or having the growth potential, the factor, what I learned so far is that a land is a reasonable cost, high plantation, well developed plantation practice, and a skilled labor force, strong research backing, and the existing of available market, a strong supporting instructor to ensure cost effective delivery to markets. That is what I came to realize when it comes to that. But it seems like, when you watch the news, or you're reading the newspaper, or like the politics get involved, it seems like they're trying to figure out how to better. And I think it's just that they know, but they don't want to share that to the public. And I'm not here to be political. This is just part of my interest that I want to share with you guys. I'm also interested in personal transformation. Personal transformation occurs when people push through obstacles, and I know that we all go through obstacles, and we find ways. We reach to people, or we do whatever it takes for us to go through those obstacles in life. you know and personal transformation is basically, for me personally, I want to have a positive outlook. I want to have a growth mindset, and an introspection, that I know that is all essential in helping people by becoming stronger and better version of myself. I also like I'm also interested in like history and theory politics. I believe that without history, a society shares no common memory of where it has been, what its core values are, or what decision of the past occur take account for present circumstances. So without history, we cannot undertake any sensible injury into the political, social, or moral issue in society, and we all lack that. We all lack in that. And that leads to next being more interested in political theory too, because without history is a structure without a base. And studying and analyzing politics that we can learn to understand is a political tradition and a concrete way of behavior. It is therefore proper to study the politics that should be essentially and be more historical study. So I'm also in that. I'm also interested in the New Age. New Age, for what I understand, is a range of spiritual or religion practice or belief in which rapidly grew in the Western society during the 1970s. So it became more effective and more known at that time. So yeah, I'm into that too. I'm into philosophy, movement, astrology, social movement, meditation, music, spiritual religions, and holistic health. And lastly, podcasting, because I wanted to do I wanted to do podcasting since 2018. And what happened was is that at that year I was in a transition phase where I no longer didn't want to continue to stay as a certified caregiver. I'm a visual person, and this is gonna be weird, but when you're in your 20s, you don't really think ahead about what you want to, if when it comes to like changing careers, or where do you see yourself within 5, 10 years? And what hit me with this transition phase is that I'm pushing 30 and I'm like 26, I'm 27, 28, and this happened when I was 28. 28 just it's just opened up. I'm noticing that in my early 20s I was surrounded by young people at that time who were in the same age, who had the same ambition, who I thought we were all in the same page where we wanted to just gain more experience and then move up to ladder, at least to become like a CNA or like a registered nurse or a licensed practitioner nurse. But once once I hit 28 and the year 2018, I couldn't see myself working as a caregiver as I'm getting older, because I started to see other people who were twice my age, and I'm sorry, but a lot of them were like in the age where they should be living in the retirement committee and then doing this type of job. They doing this type of job, and they're complaining. They're complaining about pain, and there's certain things that they can do or cannot do. So I put myself in the shoes, and that's when I realized I don't think I want to continue doing this while I'm pushing 30. As a matter of fact, I don't see myself as I'm getting older working like that. I'm not having fun. I don't get any enjoyment. It's becoming more of a responsible chores where you have to work in order for you to continue to have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food on the table, and bills to be paid. So 2018, I just had a transition phase, and then I noticed that my friends from high school, they were doing podcasts, and they still are. So I reached out to them and I asked them, how do you do this? Like, how do you start to do a podcast? And they explained to me. They explained to me. So I got it. I got inspired. I also got inspired reading more books, searching for that knowledge. Let's just say that I was depressed on top of my chronic depressed on that year. So I decided to do podcasting. I'm still working. I'm currently working as a certified nursing assistant, but on my days off, I I'm investing in podcasting. I feel like I have a story to tell. I have knowledge. I have experience. I know I can relate to people. I know that I can relate as someone who were lost and blind and was heartless, and I can also relate to people who were a victim. And my goal is to connect to you guys, the audience, to understand that there's it's time for us to change. It's time for us to recreate, have a self reflection and rebuild ourselves, because being negative and being heartless and being ignorant in general doesn't take you nowhere. Where you're gonna lose a lot of opportunity, just like I did. Where you're gonna have people who come across your life that they were good, just like I did, and then they just back away. And the more you feed into that energy, you're just gonna be surrounded by negative people, and then you're gonna have this self-reflection, and you're gonna realize that, whoa, I don't belong in this type of group. What am I doing? Just like I did. So that's why I'm starting a podcast, because my main goal is to connect to the audience. What I offer in this podcast is my life, my wisdom, my knowledge, and my experience and mental health, and also experience with relationships. Okay, and then not only I would like to gain audience where it's just like a mix of age, of everything, from the old generation to the new generation to the younger kids as well, because they're gonna need, these type of knowledge. They're gonna need to listen to somebody who like you and I, who went through all, and they need someone like us to tell them like certain things don't go that way. And I also encourage you guys, the audience, you guys, to do this too. If you guys are interested in doing podcasts, why not? Anything that you guys are interested, please do it. Do not hesitate. I know that sometimes we think we have an idea and we got it, and we get excited, we get, so inspired that we want to share with other people. But here's the reality, and here's my experience. Any plan that you got, any move that you want to make, anything that you're plotting that is going to benefit you, do not share it. Just continue to do you. Focus on you and do what you want to do. Do what you love. Okay? A lot of us went to school to pursue something that we really didn't want to. But instead, we were trying to be obedient as kids, or we were threatened by our family and we were forced to do certain things because it was their request, because that's what they wanted. But let me tell you something, as in my lifetime, I learned this. When your parents is telling you to go and pursue something that they think is best for you, it's not because they see you, it's not because it's best for you. It's because they didn't have the opportunity, or they missed the chance when they were our age at that time, and no one told them or encouraged them to do something. Okay? So whatever you are into, it could be arts, music, anything, anything. If someone else is telling you, hey, I think you should go and do this, be respectful and say, hey, mom, or hey, pops, or hey, I appreciate it, but no, I'm going to pursue something that I enjoy, that is going to benefit me. And if you are willing to stick with me with my struggles and my ups and downs, eventually you're going to reap the benefit. And that's what it is in real life. That's what it is. Okay? So you should go ahead and pursue it. So this is my introduction. First episode. I will be talking about a lot of things. I'm connected with Twitter, which I would is in my channel, like my description channel. I also have a account on Quora, whatever. It's you guys know what I'm talking about, where I ask questions or I follow up. I want to engage with you guys. I want to build a community with you guys, and anything that you want to know, any comments, any questions, anything that you want to know, communicate. Because like I said, communication is the effective way to know. If I'm willing to tell you guys who I am, I want that in return. I want to know who you guys are. Okay? So thank you for listening. Thank you for the time of you listening to my podcast. This is the first episode of James Zuniga Podcast. I'll be posting new videos once a week. All right? So I hope you guys taking care of yourself. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I see you next time. Peace out.